Hello and welcome to State of the Table. This is my weekly show where I get a very rough and ready look at my hobby table, see what's going on, see what has changed since the last week, kind of give you guys any insights into things that I do, both well thought out and wise, and the complete opposite of that. My name is Ryan, also known as Rezial. If you're new to the channel, please do consider giving us a like and a comment below. If you're getting value out of the content, do please share and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into it. I like to keep these about 5 minutes or less if possible, or well, not less. Less is very hard because I talk way too much. So the deal right now on the table is that it is probably chaos because a lot of new developments have happened in the game of Warhammer 40,000, and so a lot of people are shaking things up that they're working on or playing, and I have pretty much switched gears entirely since the last time that, last week in fact, that we were talking. And I had been painting on my Blood Angels and doing a very good job, I feel, getting those slowly to where I wanted. But then all of a sudden these changes happened and I was like, well, let's see what happens. And so I started pulling out books and reading, and things have changed. So very, very quickly, the table changed. So let's get a look and zoom out here and see how bad it is. Yeah. I have pretty much exploded a bomb on the table, a bits bomb. There's a bits bomb exploded on my table. And look, to be honest, oftentimes I end up working like this. Like when I'm working on a bigger project of stuff, yeah, you know, it looks pretty crazy. So I looked over rules, I looked over interactions, I looked over other meta, and I looked over the armies that I had available, and Dark Angels win. Dark Angels is what came out as the army for me to play, but that unfortunately means a lot of work because Dark Angels is my first army, my first passion in the game, my first love for it. I still love them probably the most, but what that meant was earlier on, previous years, I had some of my worst hobby paint jobs and stuff on them. Some of my earliest stuff like these Terminators that are in pieces here, that are older edition Terminators, and over here as well, stuff like that. And I told myself that this is my most favorite army. I really want to do it justice in hobby, and so I pretty much dismantled them and didn't touch them, hoping to increase my hobby skill. Well, hopefully without, you know, at the risk of, you know, not being as humble as I could. I think I have improved a lot. So, you know, I think it's time. I think it's time to really get on this project and get them going. So I have basically a full 2K army to build, and I have to do a lot of stripping and refurbishing and painting old models, new models, mixtures of things, and something like 23 bike models to get built up and done. And yeah, it's a lot, but sometimes it requires a bit of chaos on the table. So, you know, I've been doing things in my own way, organizing bits and throwing them around. By next week, I hope that it's going to be much cleaner and more organized, and there will be some progress. But yeah, I've got a lot of my modeling tools out. I use sanding sticks, homemade sanding sticks. I use some file sets, some European file sets that I inherited. Got a metal semi-L there. I've got some metal models that'll go into this army. I've pulled out a bunch of other bits you can see down there. Perhaps I've got my bits boxes for Dark Angels and Marines. I've got a whole box of just sprue that I set aside for Dark Angels of useful Marine stuff, Primaris stuff. pulled out the codexes and some extra boxes and things. And I also have, I won't be using the Chapter Master Azrael in this list so far that I'm working on, but I do have him sitting there for inspiration because he was in the box with some other stuff I pulled out. And then also you can see sort of how I'm building, gluing, and refurbishing some of these old bike kits, taking them apart and cleaning them up and putting them back together. So all good things I'm happy about. And yeah, and then also on my table, my poor Blood Angels that are they're not poor, they're nice. I did more work on them than the last time you guys saw. And refurbishing their paint job, highlighting armors, getting that nice black recipe going. Still learning that, still testing it out, but I think for these guys it's looking really good. They actually look better off camera than on camera. Camera kind of does that sort of thing from time to time, where they don't, it's not as flattering as you'd like, but just like real life. But that is that. I've got some Tartaros Terminators, Relic Terminators back there that I was going to work on for the Blood Angels as well for fun. But all of those guys, except for this Infiltrator that I'm going to repaint for Dark Angels because he's my only Helix Gauntlet. All of those Blood Angels are going to get moved off the table probably today because I need the space, and the Blood Angels can go and rest for the time being because I have a full 2K list to prep in just a few months, so got to get that done. So that's going to be the big project now, brand new project. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully other things coming up in the near future. Not much else to discuss on this episode of State of the Table. So if you guys have any questions, please do put them down in the comment section below. Love to hear from you all the time. Anything I can answer, anything we can discuss. Just really appreciate it and the support. Please do check out the Instagram. That is at Little EIO. That's LITTLEIAO at Instagram. And that's it, y'all. Until next time, have an excellent one.